We're going to roll with a very special guest this morning right now because his team is red hot right now, one of the hottest teams in the country and one of the only teams still undefeated in conference play. Want to welcome to the show this morning my man, head basketball coach at Southern University on the men's team, Coach Kevin Johnson. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Perry. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Glad to have you on and you making some time to get on with me this morning.
Yeah, it's always good to be here.
All right, let's get ready to talk about your team, man. Red hot right now. You guys defended home court last week, first taking on Alcorn State in a tough one. You get a victory 74-69 in a ball game in which your team shot 21 of 52, shooting 40%, 6 of 22 from the three-point line, shooting 27%, and 26 of 35 from the free throw line, shooting 74%, 30 rebounds in that ball game. And then, listen, Monday, heart attack game, as they call it, against a rival, Jackson State. And Coach Mo Williams, listen, and I saw your expression after the game when I hit you with the high five. You was like, man, I'm glad we got out of this one. Listen, 91-89 in overtime. Southern University men's basketball team gets it done against Jackson State. And that one, you shoot 30 of 60 for 50%, 10 of 26 from the three-point line, shooting 38%, and 21 of 26 from the free throw line, shooting 80%. 32 rebounds in that game. Two tough ones at home against Alcorn and Jackson State, Coach, but your teams found a way to get it done. Man, just is a little too close for comfort for you?
Not really. We know that we're going to get everybody's best shot, and it'll be no different today. And we just have to be prepared. The one of the things I like about this team, and they're still developing, they are resilient. When the momentum turns, we don't get too far down, and when the momentum turns in our favor, we don't get crazy. So it's been a good balance, and I just like the way they're buying into each other, and we're still developing, and that's the message today, and it will be from here on out. Let's get better every day.
I want to talk about the way you rotate your team, your players in, because your bench, when they come in, listen, one of the best in the country. Just the coaching process and how you do that, and then working along with injuries to the team as well, and how you keep your team fresh throughout the game.
Well, what I like is I asked these guys about 3 weeks ago, I said, who are the starters? And Mike Jacobs said, we're all starters. And I love it. I love it. So I said, it really doesn't matter who starts the game. Everybody be ready to play. And that's one of the rewards of really using the platoon system is, everybody gets a chance. And if you're ready and your production is right, and you're playing the game the right way, you get a chance to stay out there a little bit longer. So it's worked for us so far. And, I'd like to keep using it. But, sometimes a game prevents you from doing that. If we get foul trouble or if we get a player injured, then there's some disruption. But again, even when we've had those circumstances, our guys have been able to adjust, man. And that's what really excites me about this group.
Now, I got to ask, because at the end of that Jackson State game, it almost unraveled, right? You get the ball back, go down for the big dunk, maybe could have held it, got fouled, and then did some things with the time management. But the big dunk, Jackson State comes back on the other end and knocks down a three to send this thing into overtime. Looking back at that at the end of the game with that management, Coach, would you have wanted them to kind of handle that a little bit different, because it left hope for Jackson State at the end?
Yeah, well, I'm going to be very reluctant to have that much control on the offensive end. I really would like these guys to play free, have a clear head, and to stay in attack mode. The one thing that myself and my staff, we second guess is, having a 3-point lead, do you go ahead and foul and put them on the line and let them shoot the 1-and-1, and then, rely on getting the rebound? It's just kind of a circumstance for me, but that would probably be the one thing that, we would continue to discuss moving forward. And if we get that opportunity again, maybe we might foul. And so then Ruffin doesn't get off the three.
And he's a baller. I'm not even going to lie. I didn't realize. They kept saying, you don't know who that kid is, man. I was looking, and I looked him up. He was a McDonald's All-American. He is a baller for Jackson State. And then looking at Mo Williams and the team that he put together, big guys, they bang in the paint on you, but your team was able to stretch them out and then keep it going. Looking at today's opponent in Alabama A&M, and on Monday, Alabama State. I know. Let's start with Alabama A&M because I know with coaches, one game at a time. Alabama
Sure.
A&M right now 3-6 in conference play. They're 6 games out of first place. What do you see out of the Bulldogs? Because as we all know, the same. I just had the conversation with Coach Funches. Alabama A&M fans show up in that new arena for basketball games and try to make it a tough place for any opponent, especially for Southern. What do you see for that Alabama A&M team looking at film and evaluating that program?
Well, they're going to play with tremendous energy at home. We got up here last year, got down early, and had to dig ourselves from a deficit, and cut it to 2 at one point and couldn't finish it. So we've been trying to get the message across to our guys that, hey, look, we got to come out from the jump ball and be ready. And so, I kind of saw that focus in last night's practice. I definitely want to see it here today. But they're a team that plays a lot of guys. They score a lot of points. And, they score more points a game than we do. They rebound more than we do. So I don't care about records. That doesn't mean anything in this league. So we have to be ready, and we have to make sure we play better than they do today.
Oh, you almost killed my next question because you don't care about records, but the fans doing that. It's out there. Southern, your program, only of a handful of teams still undefeated in league play. What do you do to keep a team to not be distracted by that? When you having success, but to realize just as much as you're up, you could be down, to keep them focused and to keep them with the eye on the prize, that one game at a time.
Well, Perry, the first thing we have to do is, we have to talk about it. We're not going to go around and skirt around the things that this team has been able to accomplish. We talk about it, but what's more important is not where we are, is how we got there. And again, these guys believe in each other, and that's what we have to carry. That's our best chance moving forward. Just believe in each other. Believe on the guy that's out there on the court next to you. Believe in the guy that's on the bench. And if you do that, that'll be plenty enough.
All right, let's look at the SWAC standings, right? Start from the bottom and work our way up to the top. How about UAPB getting a victory over Texas Southern, snap their 7-game win streak at home on Tuesday. UAPB found a way to get it done. Coach Solomon got it done. They're 1-8 tied with Mississippi Valley. Both teams 1-8 in conference play. 8 games out of first place. Right above them, Grambling State, who is struggling thus far this season, along with Prairie View and today's opponent for Southern, Alabama A&M on the men's side. All 3 of those teams sit there at 3-6, 6 games out of first place. Couple teams, let's say a few teams sitting there at 5-4. Alcorn State, Florida A&M, and opponent on Monday, Alabama State, all at 5-4 in conference play, 4 games out of first place. Then you have Bethune-Cookman. Listen, I said it last year, and I say it again. Reggie Theus has a really good team in Bethune-Cookman. They're tied right there with Jackson State, who you defeated last Monday, at 6-3, 3 games out. Texas Southern now 7-2 with a conference loss to UAPB and none other than Southern University at 7-2 in conference play and 2 games out, and 9-0 at the top of the pack at Southern University. Right now undefeated in conference play. But when you look at those teams, just like you talked about, anybody can get beat. Texas Southern goes on the road and gives UAPB their first victory of the season, a 1-point loss to UAPB. And then you go back and you look at the tough games, even with Grambling sitting there at 3-6. They gave us everything we could ask for here at home in Baton Rouge. And then you just look at the rest of those teams, even Bethune-Cookman and Coach Theus and his team. This conference, when you look at it, it's not so much different amongst everybody, but you're going to get a tough game no matter what the record is, Coach.
I think the Pine Bluff Texas Southern game is a prime example of how tough this league is and how important it is to, be ready to play every night. I mean, most of the coaches in the league felt like Texas Southern was playing better basketball than anybody else in the league. I didn't agree with that, but that's what the coaches thought. And so they go on the road against a team that hadn't won a game and lose a close ball game. So you have to be ready every night, no matter who the opponent.
Got to be ready no matter who's the opponent. Coach, give me some names of guys when you talk about rotating that bench, getting guys in, just for you that you've seen step up their game, guys that may have exceeded expectations that you're looking for in the season, and just overall names of some playmakers for you.
You know what? It's all these guys. I can't leave anybody out. If you look at the group that starts for us, and Joe Manning, Andre Nunley, Jordan Johnson, Derek Tisno went down, so we had to make a change. We put Damari in the lineup for him, and and then DeAndre Thomas. Man, those guys. It is so important for them to set the tone on both ends of the floor, and when they do that as a starting group, I think it just kind of gets the playing field where we want it. And then, we can come with the second unit and, Cam Amry and Mike Jacobs. And now Derek is in that unit, and P.J. DeBoll and Brente Noel. And just kind of, instead of keeping things level, we want to continue to push it out. And so that's kind of been the formula. And there's been some other guys that we've played in there. A.J. Barnes is giving us a lift at certain points in times. And, even freshman Jay Stepron, has been able to knock some shots down. So for me, it's about all these guys being ready. You never know when your number's going to be called.
And what I like about all of this, Coach, you and I had conversations last year, sitting in your office, just having a conversation with you, and you was talking about creating a culture and getting guys to buy in. And, man, looking at this team right now, guys are buying in. There's a lot of basketball to play as we get into that halfway mark of conference play. And on the other side, you guys have Texas Southern and Prairie View. But just to see this culture coming together and what you're instilling in them, man, it has to be a good feeling to see, hey, we're getting somewhere, and they see what I'm saying as a coach. And if you listen to me, we'll have success.
Yeah. And again, it's not something where you ever get and it's a finished product. I think, again, I think we have the maturity level where these guys understand that we're still building, we're still growing. And as long as you've taken that attitude and don't feel like you've arrived, there's always a chance to get better.
Coach, man, I appreciate you taking the time of coming on this morning and talk to us about your program. Big game today on the road at Alabama A&M, and you'll have another one at Alabama State on Monday. Coach, thank you as always, man. You could be doing a lot of other things, but taking the time to speak with me and talking to the Jaguar Nation as always, we appreciate you. We support you. And I've been there at the games, like you're saying. I've been giving the refs hell, Coach. I've been on them, especially Monday. Hey, listen, I was on them, Coach.
Don't stop. And you have a great viewpoint where you sit in a great angle and you're close to them. So don't stop, but just don't give me a technical.
I ain't going to get you a tech because, look, when I was yelling at one time, one of the refs looked back. I said, hey, let me know if I'm wrong. He said, no, man, I'm enjoying it. You good. He said, I just had to look back and see who was making all that noise. I said, all right. Long as I'm good, you good with me, I'm good with you. So I'm at that fine line to where I make sure I talk to him. Am I good? And as long as they say I'm good, Coach, I do what I do to help the team.
Keep it going. Good. Well, certainly appreciate everything you do. And, hey, let's go get them today. Go Jags.
Go Jags. Thank you. That is the voice of Coach Kevin Johnson, the head men's basketball coach at Southern University. They are red hot, 9-0 in conference play, taking on Alabama A&M today.